So after you got your Velociraptor server and client running, then you can investigate a PUP. Now, if you take a SANS class, they will often let you install real malware and analyze it. And that's pretty awesome. But one of my gigs is I teach at a public college, and it's not a controlled environment. I remember one time I was teaching pen testing, and I had a student come up and say, I was doing my homework last night at work. And I said, where do you work? And he said, I work in a bank. And I said, And he said, yeah, as soon as I downloaded these hacking tools, the phone rings. And they say, what's wrong with you down there? Knock it off. I said, that's what they should do. Don't be doing this homework at work. So I don't want my students using real malware. I can't rely on them to be careful enough with it. So I wrote some fake malware. So I got some really lame malware here that we can infect machines with that's pretty harmless, but it is annoying. So here's the URL to download this malware. The first thing is you have to disable Windows Defender. Now, if you use an cloud machines, it's already disabled. If you made your own machine, and if you used my copy that you downloaded from my website, it's also already disabled. This is just for people that are using like a plain vanilla Windows 10 image. Disabling Windows Defender is pretty hard. The best solution that Caitlin found is to add an exclusion and exclude drive C, which accomplishes the job. Then it will quit complaining about malware on drive C. So to install my fake malware on this Windows machine, I need to download it from that website. I could use any browser, but I sort of like using Firefox. All right. So I can paste that URL and go. Now it's downloading pup4.zip. So I save that. And it's down here. And now I unzip it. My machine is running kind of slow, but it's moving. It's good enough. So I right click, extract all, extract. It's password protected, and the password is malware, which is the usual in the industry. And there's really not much to it. Here's PUP4. It's got folders in folders because I was sort of sloppy when I compressed it. All right, and there's a README file which just has instructions like you've got on the web page here. So to infect your machine, run pup4.exe as administrator. This one right here, right-click, run as administrator. It's going to complain. You can approve it here. This is Smart Screen. Run anyway. All right. Now it wants to approve the escalation, and so I approve it. And now I need to move one file. Okay, this file, pup4 message, should be right in the root of C. So put it there. There we go. Move to local disk C. Uh-oh, something bad happened. I'm too slow and it opened because my mouse is kind of laggy. My local virtual machine seemed to be lagging my machine up a bit, but it's all right. There. Move to C. And I have to provide administrator permissions to do that. All right. Now, delete all this stuff. And there it's warning me about what I've done, which is fine. So I delete both of these things. And then empty the recycle bin. All right, now I want to restart this machine. All right, my machine's been lagging lately, but it looks like the Twitch stream is still working. Yep, okay. Folks, let me know if something bad happens, like my sound cutting out or anything, or chopping up, but it looks like it's all working. It's a little slow, but that's actually not bad for demonstrations anyway. I hope this isn't going to put on updates or anything. I think I disabled the updates on these cloud machines for that reason. And might as well put it within the stream window. There we go. It should pop up this irritating message whenever it finally launches. It may warn me yet again, or I have to override the warning. Well, if it's going to take this long, I'm going to try and figure out why my machine is lagging. I suspect it might be Zoom, yeah?
Here, Sam, log into, let me give you some creds. Here we go.
Well, I could use one of them. That's true. I didn't even think of that. I could use some of mine too. But anyway, I think we'll be all right. But yeah, I could be using some of my cloud machines too. It's a good thought. Anyway, so here we are. Yes. It's still booting up. Still turning on these little icons and stuff. Okay. Good. That's what I wanted to show you. This is the point of all this nonsense. It shows you this irritating message every time you boot up. So this is a PUP. That's all it does. Pops up that irritating message, but we can investigate to find out why that happens. So we can do that all with Velociraptor, and I've got my Velociraptor running over here. All right. So if I go show all, click on the blue link, my Linux server is now viewing my Windows machine, and I hit collected, and I can now harvest some artifacts so you can figure out what's going on. So you have, the user is complaining that something automatically runs, so the cure for that is autoruns. Autoruns is a sysinternals tool, and you can remotely install it through Velociraptor. So you look for autoruns here, and there it is, Windows sysinternals autoruns. This will grab the binary, install it on the host, and run it, and let you see the results. It's very nice. If you look at the parameters, I think there are none that matter. I don't even understand what I would do with these parameters. The explanation is not very clear, but I don't care. A default run of autoruns is good enough to tell you all the things that are automatically launching on the box. It's not perfect, of course. There are hundreds of ways to automatically launch software on Windows machines, but this finds most of them. So the log will show me the progress. It's running a command, and in the Velociraptor query language. By the way, I said before you might have a fleet of 1,000 machines you're controlling, so it has an automatic limit on how long it will take and how much resources. It will never hang up forever. I think it's limited. I've never seen anything take longer than about 90 seconds in Velociraptor. This took 33 seconds. And then it found 1,400 auto runs. So if I go to the results, here's all these things that automatically run on a Windows machine. And, all right. And it tells you also whether they're signed or not. So in the project, since you're working on these cloud machines that don't have Microsoft Office or OpenOffice or anything, I actually had you hunt for a flag in Notepad, but on my machine that has, this is a Mac, and I have a spreadsheet on it. If you have a spreadsheet, a better solution is to download this thing. This will, one of these buttons will download the CSV. This is JSON, and this is CSV. If you want to search through a list of 1,400 things without going mad, what's better is to put it in a spreadsheet. And there, that opened it here. All right, that's it. I think it's the most. Yep. Let me sort this. All right, and so if I open this with, say, numbers, which is the default Mac spreadsheet, that should appear somewhere on one of my screens. All right, looks like it's going to be this screen here. That's good. All right. Get rid of that. And so now we can see all the things that are automatically running. And the interesting thing is that it has signature information. So let me, there we are. Let me adjust my spreadsheet. There we go. Make this column narrower. All right. And this can be narrower too. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's run this there. Okay. All right. I don't need this description hardly at all. Okay. This is the company that signed it. And just like before, the cool thing about company signatures is if some big company like Microsoft signed it, I probably don't have to worry about it. That's probably not malware. So I can sort this by company. And now all the things that are signed at all, I'm going to just assume they're okay. And go down to the bottom where all the unsigned things are. That gets rid of most of them. This is why everybody should sign your code, for exactly this reason. And now I'm down to the unsigned stuff. And I can look through it for suspicious things. And here I find Velociraptor, which is unsigned. And down here, I've got something called PUP4 message. And that's what does it, of course. And there's a few clues here that this is strange. For one thing, it's 32-bit code running on a 64-bit machine. Well, that's what the WOW 6432 is. And it's not signed. But anyway, now I have found a process that looks suspicious. So I imagine this is what's actually making that pop-up message, but I haven't proven it. So, let me go back to my instructions. All right. So you can find the exe, you can find the MD5 of it with another command here called pslist. That will give you the MD5 of it. And to prove that it's really the right thing, you can look in the process memory. This is one I like, Windows Triage Process Memory. Okay, Windows Triage Process Memory. This will dump process memory and upload it to the server. So you have your parameter is the name of the process regex. So I configure parameters. And we just saw the name of the process is PUP for something. So I'll just use PUP. I think it's the only process with PUP in its name. And then launch. And I can go here in the log. And I see another tip there saying those Debian machines don't have strings, which is rude, so I'll have to add that to the instructions. So it's done after 2 seconds. And the results are it found the memory and it put it in a file called dump and a bunch of numbers. And that file is only 3 megs this time. It's 8 megs last time I did it, but whatever. So there's the file. Now I can go to uploaded files and I can analyze this on any machine I want to analyze it on. I want to analyze it right on my Debian machine. Then I need to just get the path. Now, one thing that's irritating is that the path has this C colon in it, which is hard to express, so it's probably easier to just you can either navigate to it on the Debian machine, or if you're opening your browser in the Debian machine, it'll go to the downloads folder when you download it. I'll just download it onto my Mac is probably the easiest answer here. After you've got it, but if you guys are working in the cloud machine, you have to pretty much do it this way, so let me do it that way. You highlight this path up to the C colon, which is going to be a problem, and copy it. And then you go to it in a command line on your cloud machine. So let me find here's my command line. All right, so it's cd, didn't have it there. Anyway, I'll get it here. cd, I think it's ets velociraptor, or var. Okay, let me do what I did before to find it. I thought I put the instructions there, but now I'm not seeing them. I need to find this thing called dump2667. So the way to find something that's hidden on a Linux machine is find. So sudo find / and that name dump2667 star. All right, that will, whoa, what? Minus name. Okay. There, okay. Sudo find at the root minus name. There it is. Now I can find it, which is a good idea. So now I can go here and look at it. Or I can just copy the whole thing. So now I can look for strings inside that file with the strings command, which should be, that should copy it. All right. So now, yes, strings. All right. So if I run strings on that file, I'm hearing a phone ring. I hope it's nothing important. Let me just check and make sure it's not a student. I don't even know where my phone is. Could have lost my phone. Over here. Okay. No, okay, it wasn't a student. All right. All right. So there's strings. They're kind of a mess. And if you pipe them through more to see them, not too many of them are readable. Anyway, the point is you have to look for EL strings, which are the Microsoft 16-bit strings, Microsoft's old-fashioned Unicode, and then you'll find the flag. So let me find out about this strings thing. You have to install bin utils. Oh, good. Thanks for telling me. All right, I'll add that here to 372.3. And I think I'll also talk about that sudo find. So I'm going to add a couple steps here. Anyway, another thing you can do is find out if other executables are also infected. And you can do that with Yara, NTFS. This is a really handy one. Yara, we're going to talk more about. Yara is a lot of people's favorite tools. It's really simple. It's really not much more than grep. But the point is, this will search based on a rules file. So the first thing you have to do is use the keyword wide. So I thought I had an example of the rule there. I'm a little confused now, but anyway, did we use it here? All right, anyway, Let's see if we can make a brief, okay, also upload. So we have to have a Yara rules file, and I'll show it to you here. I thought I put it in those instructions. Let me just skip to the next one, see if I put it there. I just added these today, and it looks to me like it's a little messed up. The Yara, there, that's a Yara rule. And so that's what a Yara rule looks like, if you don't know, which I don't suppose very many of you would know. So let me open the rule we need for this one, which is pwned. And all right. Windows detection, Yara, NTFS. Ah, okay, thank you. Now I know what it is. Windows I'm in the wrong rule. I thought it was supposed to be easier. There, this is the point. Pardon me. This was supposed to be the easy one. This one lets you use shorthand Yara rules. All you have to do is have something like wide or no case and then your string. So the rule is very simple. This is the one I wanted. There are different Yara rules. That other one does have more instructions, but we don't need that until later. So now we're going to find exe files with the string pwned. So here, you can have exe files by just putting an exe here. And you can have a shorthand Yara rule here, which is just wide pwned. And the point of this is, here's, by the way, a normal Yara rule. This is what Yara rule, that's what they look like, but we're not using that. So this is going to look for files that contain this string all over the hard drive. And that's how we'd find out what files are involved in this attack. So launch, and it will now scan the files on the hard drive. And it'll show you here, it doesn't like wide. All right, it failed. Wide pwned should have been all right. Let's see what I did wrong. Windows detection, Yara, NTFS. Okay. Wide colon string. I forgot the colon, that's why. All right. I wanted EXEs. And I wanted wide colon string, wide colon pwned. All right. There. Let's try that one. Oh, good. Now it compiled it correctly. It's running. Now it'll take a while. It has to run through all the files on the Windows machine, of which there are 330,000. It'll take about 90 seconds. And what's going on is it's scanning them. And when it fails, to do it by going through the normal system starting with C, it's going to have to use the accessor that accesses the disk directly. So all these messages are programs that are in use and locked. So it's 30 seconds in. Like I say, nothing ever seems to take more than about 90 seconds. All right, there's 60. I'll just mention, this is why this product is so much better than all the other ones I've used. They would like start some long process and make you wait forever or crash halfway through. This Velociraptor is really, really good. "90 seconds waiting for rows." I think it'll not take much longer. see. You notice it's not in constant contact with the client. It just pulls it every 30 seconds to see what it's doing because the server thinks it might be running, thousands of clients. It's not waiting for one. It's just checking now and then to see if they're done. Well, I guess it's going to take longer. This might have something to do with my whole machine being super laggy, which I think is probably Zoom. Well, as usual, that's going to take forever. Maybe I can find out why my machine is so slow. Activity monitor. Yeah, well, it can't even open Activity Monitor. Something is eating up all the CPU, I guess, and it is probably Zoom, I'm guessing. That happens to a lot of my students. Zoom eats up everything. It's VMware. In this case, the VMware is actually doing something, but Windows Server, whatever that is, some sort of Brave browser. Yeah, and there's Zoom. It's not Zoom. Okay, it really is the VMware. All right. Well, maybe I'll have to switch to using cloud machines. I've done this a bunch of times with these local machines, and it usually works, but looks like it's not going to work worth anything now. I'll give it another minute or so to see if this ever finishes, and then I'll just stop and come back after I put it all in cloud machines. Usually, local virtual machines are faster and more reliable, but apparently not this time. All right, well, I'm stopping this video. I'll pick it up after I get something that will actually move.